NNRG.
You know, I think this is the first game to show up on Double Energy that I actually own already. Now, I don't mean I own the Commodore 64 version, but today's game, Skate or Die, I own the NES version of that. In fact, I have the second one even. And that means I know what to expect, at least as far as the NES version is concerned. So I guess we're going to find out if the Commodore 64 version compares to the same extent. So I'm going to start it up here. Because, yeah, on the NES, it's like, it's got this digitized track for the music, and it's got, oh, we got flashing. Not a lot of flashing, though. That's a weird decision. So, whoever cracked this one, this was clearly done later in time, because it recognizes that there's hard disks and emulators that could be loading this. Now, I think I have it set up in the emulation for a 1541 drive, but here's the thing. I actually did check this to see if there were any problems with the fast or the slow option. The fast option is a heck of a lot faster. Unfortunately, it also doesn't load properly. So, it loads, but there's glitches in the load, and then it eventually just falls apart and crashes. So we're going to go with the slow option, which is really slow. So I'm going to be warp speeding all of these loads. So here's the intro for the group that cracked this one. I'm not entirely certain, is the group called Wow and Roll, or is it just called Wow, or I'm not sure. But no, there's no audio for this one, I can assure you. So it's kind of weird just how many intros we've run into that don't have audio. I don't know enough about these intro groups to know, how the audio gets put in, who does it or whatever, but yeah, it's interesting that we've seen so many of these that don't have music going. Oh, immediately we're into the title screen. Okay, that's very weird. It's like using the border area to sort of do some of the audio there. It's also kind of interesting that they actually managed to get the title music in here pretty well, at least compared to the NES version. And yeah, there's actually quite a bit to the Skate or Die theme, which you wouldn't normally listen to because it's only on the title screen. And you would just clear the title screen the moment you started the game, so most people don't even listen past the first 5 seconds. And then after our load here, we're into the game, and it looks very much like the NES version, although definitely with less resolution, because we're in the Commodore 64's multicolor mode right now, which has double width pixels to account for being able to have 4 colors defined per tile. So it's not like with the NES, where you've got the full resolution and still have 4 colors per tile. So actually, I just noticed something very interesting. So the game is clearly using the Commodore 64's multicolor video mode right now, but then how is it that the Skate or Die cursor sprite is using the two-color mode with the higher resolution? Is that even I didn't think it was possible. Clearly it is. That's very interesting. I didn't know you could do that. So yeah, the idea here is you move the cursor around, and I think this guy's name is Rodney Dangerfield, if I'm remembering correctly. And basically, wherever you point the cursor, he makes a comment about it. So I believe this is for high scores. I'm not going to bother going into there just in case it results in long loads. This is where you create your character if you want to do the competition mode. So basically the way it works, let's finish exploring this screen first, and then I'll explain how the actual gameplay works. Someday you might be on a poster, use this bopper in the pool joust. Don't you like my do? What are you staring at? This ain't no library, go skate. Actually, I think Yeah, he has multiple things he'll say if you move the cursor up to his mouth there. Want to change board color. Oh, we can actually change the color of our board? Oh, I think we have to... Yeah, we have to have a character set up to do that. I didn't know that was a thing, though. Like, maybe that's actually a Commodore 64 specific feature? Because I didn't think you could do that in the NES version. It's been a while since I've played the NES game, so I might be wrong about that, but... Huh. Okay, so yeah, so there's two modes to the gameplay. There's either practice or competition. So now if you go to practice, you end up out here. You control your skater by pushing forward and backward to adjust acceleration, and you can turn side to side. So it's like tank controls before tank controls were really a thing. And yeah, this looks so much like the NES version, just with different color palette going on. So yeah, the idea is you have these 5 events: Joust, Race, Jam, High Jump, and Freestyle. And it's interesting the way they colored them, because Joust is kind of its own thing. Race and Jam both use the exact same gameplay format, whereas High Jump and Freestyle also both use the exact same gameplay format. So, yeah, the idea is, when you're going to competition mode, you're trying to basically get the high scores on all of this stuff, and so you're very limited in terms of your attempts and everything. Because if you screw up, then you gotta start over. And then there's also a compete all to do the entire set of 5 events. In practice mode, though, you basically just do the events however you want to. And if you screw up, you just keep going. So I'm not gonna bother with the competition mode, so let's just do the practice here. So let's start with the freestyle. It looks like it's going to do a lot of loading, so I will warp speed and we will get back to this. Yeah, I'm really not sure what's up with the loading here, because I'm watching the disk indicator as it does this stuff, and it's basically like it's going through the entire disk to pull data. So my guess is the group that cracked this really packed the data in like super tight, because the slow loading literally takes like several minutes. So, whereas the fast loading takes only a few seconds. But as I said, the fast loading leads to glitches that ultimately just crash the game out. So, you gotta go with the slow loads for this route. I did find other downloads of the game. Here's the problem with trying to play Skate or Die emulated in modern days, is that some of the downloads are not the entire game. They're actually pieces of the game as opposed to the whole thing. Like, one of the pieces I found was specifically the freestyle, and then another piece I found was specifically the joust. So it's like, oh, okay, we're finally in here. So yeah, here's the freestyle. So if I remember how this works, you hit the button to start going, and if you hit the button on the dark areas... Yeah, if you hit the button on the dark areas of the ramp, at the bottom there, it'll speed you up, and if you hit the button outside of the dark areas, it slows you down. And then you do a trick, you hit the button to stop, you gotta stop it at the right moment, otherwise you kinda crash out. Well, let's try to do a slow trick first, because slow tricks are easier. Usually. And I think you get 10 attempts before it ends it. So... okay. Even the slow tricks have managed to screw up. I haven't played this in a while. Okay, back to the fast tricks. Nope, I timed that really bad. Wow. I swear I used to be good at this. Okay, I got some points. There we go, now we're getting points. There we go, okay. That's how you get the points going. Oh, but we got to our 10th pass, so... And you get a bonus based on how many of your tricks were successful. So I guess we got a 2,000 point bonus there because our last half of the tricks there were worked out okay. And then you can practice again, or not practice again. I think I actually wanted to hit yes, but it moved over automatically to no, so I'm guessing there's no debounce on the selection there. That's kind of annoying. Okay, so let's check out the high jump next. So the high jump is, well, it's gotta do its load first. Actually got interrupted by a train there, so let's practice again. So I think what you're supposed to do is like rock the D-pad back and forth, and the more you do that, the higher you're able to get. Well, I say D-pad, but I mean if you were using an actual Commodore 64 joystick, then you'd be rocking the joystick back and forth. I'm not sure, like, what the maximum here is. I think it's basically just go until you... Well, there's going to be a limit on the number of passes. Oh, it actually started making noise there for some reason. Or maybe I just get 5 passes. Well, in any case, we got up to 6'2" on the height. So, yeah, the high jump is really simple. And it's one of those bog standard sort of competition type things where you're just going back and forth on the joystick as fast as you can. Okay, I'm going to leave the race and the jam for last because those are probably the two most interesting. So let's go to Joust next. Joust is... Well, Joust in itself is kind of interesting, but it's been done in a very unusual way. At least it was on the NES. We'll see if it's roughly equivalent here on the C64. So yeah, before you actually start playing the Joust, you actually choose your opponent. So you got Poser Pete, who's like your beginner person. He's saying, hey dude, give me a break, I'm just learning how to joust. We got Aggro Eddie. No prob, I know my way around a pool. The you, better know your stuff before you take me on. Or Lester, who's just like, skate or die. And yeah, from what I remember, these really are a change in difficulty. Easy is easy, hard is hard, and medium is medium. So we'll just go there. So, okay, it says press your button. I don't see the opponent. Okay, there's the opponent. So yeah, the idea is that you're trying to hit your opponent with your baton, or your paddle, or whatever it's called. But after the amount of time passes, it becomes their turn to hold it. And yeah, then they get a chance to hit you with it. So yeah, the idea is that when you push your button, it'll actually, yeah, do the attack. Because you see how his paddle flashed there when he was near me? Okay, so it gave it back to me now, so let's see if I can get him. And then you can also push the button when you're on the edges to sort of help delay you so that you can avoid the opponent. Because yeah, it's easier to he got his 3 hits, so he won, unfortunately. Maybe I should be playing on beginner, because I haven't played this game in so long, at least on the NES. And yeah, the idea is you just gotta time it so that you're smacking into them with the paddle at the right moment. But yeah, so long as you can like stay away from, get the timing desynced, it makes it a lot easier to, it almost switched back to my turn there. But yeah, the trick is you just gotta desync yourself and it becomes much easier to not get hit by your opponent. Okay, I should be getting it now, and now we're just trying to slam into him. Got him! So yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. It's very simple when it comes down to it, but... Now the funny thing about this Joust, though, is I don't think this is something they would actually do in real skateboarding. I might be wrong about that, but it just seems to me like trying to pummel somebody that you're going at full speed in a skateboard pool just seems like a very easy way to get someone killed. Okay, so let's do the jam next. We'll leave, or no. Let's do the jam last. We'll do the race next. Because the race and the jam are basically the same mechanics, it's just the race is more straightforward, whereas the jam is a bit more interesting. Now the weird thing is that at this point in time, it actually now lets us choose whether we want regular foot or goofy foot controls. And I think the reason why this decision is here is because it's basically determining whether left goes left and right goes right, or if left goes right and right goes left. And I think that's a result of the fact that you're going down, like you're facing downwards in this particular game. So we'll just go with regular. I forget which is which. Yeah, regular is the one where right is right and left is left. And yeah, this is the race, so the idea is just go down as fast as you can. But of course, the faster you're going, the less time you have to actually make turns and stuff. And then the way you jump, you can crouch and jump during this. And to crouch, you just hold the button down along with down, and then to... Oh, that slowed me down for some reason. And then to jump, I believe you just hold down and press the... Or no, you gotta press up and jump here. I think the controls are easier on the NES, just because we've only got one button on the Commodore 64. But then there's actually more to it than that as well. Like, for instance, when we were going down here, we had this side path. And if we speed up here, we can see that skull, and if we do a jump right, yeah, we actually get bonus points for doing that. And you can actually crawl through that, crouch through that pipe there as well. Forgot to do that, but you can do that. And it's also possible to jump onto that path down at the side there, or onto the building even. And then make sure to jump at the end there, and try not to bail on the rough patches at the side there. So yeah, so with the race, you're basically just going for score here. I don't think you ever do this versus another opponent. That's where it gets a little more interesting with the jam, which we're gonna see in a moment here. Okay, so it says to press your button, and then we choose our control style. Lester's ready to take us on. And here we go. So we're kind of like in the middle of an alley here, but we can actually like punch and kick each other, and that gets us bonus points when we do it right. The only trouble is that this is a little tricky because you're trying to not only hit things, but also not hit things. And then Lester just went through the fence and got shredded by it, which, you know, fair enough. And I think you also get a bonus for being like the first one to the end. Whoops, I'm gonna end up going through the fence. Now I got shredded. And I think you also get a bonus if you can jump onto the police car at the end, but that didn't seem to happen there. So Lester won that one. Not by too much, but then there was a massive point bonus at the end there. Okay, let's actually try that again. So I think you get some points for running over the cans, but it seems like the hit detection on that's a little precise. I think you also get some points if you manage to get into that side area there, but then it's very hard to go through that side area. You know, maybe I used to play with the Goofy Foot option because I'm actually finding I'm having having this mental disconnect with whether I should be pushing left or right. So maybe I did used to play with the Goofy Foot option. Wouldn't surprise me. Okay, let's actually try the Goofy Foot option because I got a feeling that might be the way I used to play this game. And I think if you manage to get far enough ahead, it actually pulls your opponent towards you and causes them to sort of lose a little bit of control. Might be wrong about that, but it's been a while. Oh, how did Lester get onto the building? Well, it doesn't matter because we actually managed to get ahead of him a bit there. Oh yeah, knocked Lester down. Yeah, I'm having a much easier time controlling it now, so I think this is the way I did used to play it. I tried to jump on the cop car, didn't have a success there, but I actually beat Lester that time. Oh right, I forgot about that. So you'll notice even though I crossed the finish later than Lester, I have a lower time than him. And that's because you actually get time bonuses. Okay, I almost forgot about that. And yeah, those 5 events were basically the meat of the game. The compete in all option just means you go through all 5 of them and get an overall score. You could sign in to save scores and to actually do the full competition mode, which is, you know, just basically playing the events and trying not to screw up. But I do want to actually do this sign-in thing because, let's type in my name here. It does have board color selection. You can't, this is not an option in the NES version. That is interesting. Yeah, I am like 100% certain, 99% certain you can't choose your board color in the NES game. But here, you've got the full-ish 16-color palette to choose from. Black is not an option for whatever reason. I'm not sure why not. Yeah, that's actually a very good question. Like, pretty much every one of the events in this game, the background that you're on is not black. So why is black not a board option? Although it occurs to me, I don't know enough about how the C64 works to know if you can use black in the multicolor mode, but I don't think the sprites are using the multicolor feature. I think it's actually just the single color feature, just with over multiple sprites overlaid over top of each other. Because if you look at the board, you can see that there's a single pixel for the wheels. That wouldn't be possible if you were doing the multicolor. And yeah, now it actually has our board color here on the main map too. So yeah, that's Skate or Die on the C64. It's pretty competent compared to the NES version. It has pretty much the exact same gameplay, although a little more clunky because you've only got one button on the controller instead of two, so it's not done as well. It's a little more rough in the jam, and it's actually just kind of a little more rough just overall. But at the same time, it's kind of impressive to pull this off to this level of quality. Not to mention that whole ability to choose your board color. That's not something that's in the NES version. But then at the same time, the NES version absolutely has better music during the gameplay. Because even right here, like, we're not hearing any music. There's supposed to be music right now. But it's not in this version of the game. And all of the music in the events was just not up to the same level of quality as in the NES. But the title music is fully digitized, so that worked out fine.